I'm really surprised we haven't seen Broodlords in yet. Blink Stalkers would be fairly effective against them, but with Infestors to help counteract against the Blink, Broodlords could be exceptionally effective. Never mind that a Greyer Spire is up. It probably has been for some time. Try to get
Taberu is really looking to secure his right-hand bases. He's got a whole slew of cannons down there.
No kidding. I criticized him for his lack of macro earlier, and he said, well, you know what, some idiot on YouTube is going to just tell me I need to mineral dump, so here, have freaking 9 cannons. I think that'll do. Along with these Archons are going to be very powerful. Armor level 2 is on the way for Taberu. Again, good to see those upgrades coming in. I wish he had a second forge, though, so that he could also get those weapons, because +3 Archons, the bane of so many Zerg. Destiny re-expanding to that bottom left third. But Taberu already spying it out. Not even seeing it, but knowing by now with one Stalker to blink down just to make sure ahead of time. But some great game sense. Even forcing the cancel on it so that it won't be able to complete. Destiny, though, is gearing up for a major attack against his opponent. Really like the safe play that Taberu is giving here, keeping his units a little bit split up, but also spreading them out and just scouting here and there, so that even when this major confrontation does come in, he's got a good idea of how it's coming in, and he's able to prepare readily for it. Man, these Zealots really need to get their charge legs up. Heading close to we just passed the 29-15 mark, and his Zealots don't have the legs. They could be really major because charge lots rushing right up before Fungals are able to catch them could just slice and dice at a Zerg very readily. Maybe he's reluctant to get it because of the Fungals, because he thinks Destiny would be able to beat him to it.
Now Taberu has rebuilt his pylon in the bottom left-hand side of the map, hidden there behind the tall grass.
Sure enough, and we do see 5 Zealots warping in, heading right over. They're going to go straight to the hatchery, but they could do a lot of damage to the drones. We do see weapon level 3 has started. I think Taberu just sort of did a fire and forget. Now that he's micro-theming a bit more. Nope, he's going to focus down the hatchery. Destiny's not going to be able to respond in time, and that's because I'm missing a major battle going on in the middle here, where Taberu is actually coming down a fair bit behind. Major storms are going down that are going to soften up the Zerg army. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a whole lot of a Protoss army to finish them off. These 2 Immortals, though, could swing the entire tide of battle, doing 60 damage per shot. Only a 1.5 speed timer, but 2 Neurals going down. Clutch Neurals. Blink Stalkers trying to focus down these Immortal, or the Infestors that are can't even think, knurling the Immortals. So many I's and S and just mixing all my units up. The Immortals are going to get focused down by the remaining Roaches. Some great plays by Destiny. I am getting a phone call, but that person can wait. I have StarCraft to do. Huge drone transfer is getting caught by Taberu, and actually the supply is fairly even for both. The Harvester count, though, is much, much higher for Taberu. 82 probes to 54 drones, which means that Destiny's going to have a much higher advantage in terms of army count. We do have a very, very, very large warp-in of Stalkers at that hidden pylon that Cartesian pointed out. They're going to be catching a drone transfer. They need to blink forward and just get all of these. Come on, you got blink. I know it's off cooldown. You can do it. Catch the Roaches before they get up. Oh, it didn't quite get to it. Still, this number of Roaches shouldn't be too big of a problem. If nothing else, he can always blink onto this low ground. Now the +3 is getting ready to finish. We do have more Immortals being produced. No Colossus have been seen yet, although with the Neural Parasite, I can't say that I blame Taberu on that end. Finally, these Stalkers get cornered. Trying to blink down, only to be met by Zerglings. The pylon will get taken out. Destiny really just trying to secure all of his extra bases, not always able to do so. his own upgrades at 1-2-4 range and 1-3-4 melee. We still haven't seen any tier 3 units. We've seen really a kind of basic unit game here from Destiny. Banelings and Festers are getting up there, but no Broodlords, no Ultralisks. Just mostly Zerglings, Banelings, Roaches, and with Infestor a complement with the Fungals going down. Now, a few Stalkers are going to be moving down here and harassing, abusing that great mobility. Unfortunately, I don't think that they have anywhere to run. They are going to get fungled pretty heavily. It's probably going to spell the end of their life, although they are going to be able to focus down on Infestor, which is good. People may be saying, oh, but you know, he had no energy, so why is that worth it at all? Well, it's because he would have regained that energy and would have been used later on. Taberu's macro slipping just a little bit more again as he creeps up to 1700 minerals, moving into the 33.5 minute mark. Oh, and he's taking the top center base as well as dropping, and here is the mineral dump. 5 cannons going down for the bottom right third. However, I think Destiny's going to sense that his opponent's moving down here real quick, and he's going to try to. Yep, he's breaking the destructible rocks. Really doing all that he can to get through there, to really get to his opponent harassed before these cannons finish. And if all 5 cannons finish, well, they'll put up a good fight, and they may delay it just enough to get that. He really needs to push, and there he goes. Any semblance of an army for Taberu is trying to move down as quickly as possible, but they're not going to be able to save this expansion. We do have 5 Archons, and that +3 has finished. 47 damage per shot versus everything that Zerg has. Never mind that it also splashes. 3 Immortals and some Stalkers getting caught a little bit out of position. Not quite with the support they needed for the Archons, but it's going to be too much and scare Destiny away.
We do have a Warp Prism with 2 Immortals in it, sitting right to the right of Destiny's main base.
Oh, I see that on the mini-map. My mouse is highlighting over it there. You keep an eye on that. I'm going to watch this as Destiny is trying to snipe out. Oh, and he doesn't get the Nexus. He was so close at 165 energy. More Neurals going down, but Blink Stalkers are going to move to the back, and they're going to try to snipe out these Infestors as quickly as possible. Take out that Neural Parasite that surely took out plenty of Stalkers, but not enough to really count and make the difference in that little engagement. The Warp Prism is moving in. I caught it before you were able to tell me, because as soon as that battle finished, I knew Taberu is going to be moving right away. He's actually taking out the spawning pool, and this is a great move. He's going to prevent... He knows that Zerglings have actually been one of the major forces for his opponent, especially in terms of you fungal Stalkers, and then you get Zerglings to move around them, or against the Immortals, they can do a lot of damage. Fortunately, both of these Immortals are going to get taken...
Archons and Immortals down at the bottom.
Oh, taking out the third. They did manage to snipe out that hatchery. The Immortals did load up into the Warp Prism. They did manage to slip out, even though one is so very, very red. However, this is not StarCraft 1. You don't get to see only certain portions of it red. Blizzard said, nah, we're not going into that much detail. We're too busy making the rest of the freaking game. Taberu's macro, yet again, been a consistent theme. He was up to 2,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. Cut it down to 3,000, I should say. Cut it down to 2,500. Really, I feel like he should just drop like 8 gateways and just have the production facilities there just in case. We are moving ahead here into the 36:45 mark, just passing, and we have, oh my god, how many Archons? 8? Just waltzing on in. Psystorm? What Psystorm? Oh, unfortunately the Neuro is going to move in, but the Stalkers are going to blink forward and they're going to focus down the Infestors as much as they can. One Archon is going to be neuroed. However, the Archons don't do bonus damage first. They're allies just against anything involving Zerg. Destiny leaves the game knowing that he was beaten with those Archons, knowing that he couldn't produce to keep up. We do look at the supply, 60 to 158. A fantastic game by both of these very high-level players. Taberu managing just to keep up and lock down his opponent. Even though I kept criticizing him on his macro, I really did a whole lot. And even right now you can see it's 3,000 minerals, 1,200 gas. However, he really did a fantastic job in locking down this base and this base. this natural really was able to flourish pretty well. You can see by the remaining minerals. But even the third here, we can see the immortals were dropping in. They took out the hatchery yet again. Just weren't they? He wasn't able to. Destiny wasn't able to really get into that full, absolute, almost I would say Hydra-esque macro. Some great play by Taberu. However, some great play also by Destiny. I think Destiny's biggest hindrance was that he never really teched up. He just kind of got stuck at that tier 2, 2.5. What are your thoughts, Cartesian?
Yeah, with the lack of any air units at all from the Protoss, no Phoenix, no Void Rays, I think Broodlords really would have been moderately effective against that Archon Immortal ball.
I think the Blink Stalkers could have really hurt against the Broodlords, however, combined with Fungus from Infestors, well, then Blink Stalkers are completely nullified because, well, you can't blink. That really would have been a good move up for Destiny. Maybe he never felt comfortable with his macro to move to that point. Maybe he never had the secure basis to be able to fund that transition. But I think if he would have been able to, even for just a little bit, that could have scared Taberu back into going into a different sort of play that Destiny would have been more likely to beat. Nonetheless, thank you, Cartesian, for joining me into this cast. This has been a whole lot of fun.
Indeed it has.
We will see you guys in the next game, whether it's a best of 3, a best of 7, or just a single game. In all your games, watching, playing, and enjoying everywhere, good luck and have fun.